right off the bat was this whole idea that comprehensive coverage can sometimes actually be cheaper than third party.
Yeah,
How does that even make sense?
it's counterintuitive, right? But you got to think about it. When you go for that comprehensive cover, you're usually someone who's a bit more concerned about protecting your own car. And, that often translates into safer driving habits.
Gotcha. So it's like sending a signal.
Exactly. A good signal to the insurers that you're a lower risk.
So it's all about the signals we're sending. And speaking of good signals, what about this whole thing of shopping around every year at renewal time?
Oh, that's crucial. Loyalty doesn't really get you very far in the car insurance world. It's all about those new customers. Those are the ones that get the best deals.
Right. So like every year, it's a fresh start.
Exactly.
It's like an annual insurance shopping spree.
I like that. An insurance shopping spree.
And, we've got these great comparison websites. You've got your Go Compares, your Money Supermarkets, your Compare the Markets. But also, I think sometimes people forget about those smaller companies.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
They can have some real hidden gems when it comes to pricing.
You got to cast a wide net, explore all the options.
Exactly. Okay, let's talk about this thing called voluntary excess. It sounds a bit technical, but I think it's actually a pretty straightforward way to potentially save some money.
It is, yeah. Think of it like this. Imagine you're a young driver. You've got your first car, probably a pretty pricey one, getting comprehensive cover with, say, a 500-pound voluntary excess. Might actually work out cheaper than just basic third-party cover because you're showing the insurer, look, I'm serious about protecting this car.
Wow, so you're kind of taking on a bit more risk yourself in exchange for that lower premium.
Precisely. It's like a deductible. Say you have a little fender bender, cause 1,000 pounds worth of damage. With the 250 pounds excess, you pay that first 250 pounds and the insurer covers the rest. But bump that excess up to 500 pounds, your upfront cost is higher, but you're likely to see savings on your overall premium.
Right, so it's about finding that sweet spot. But of course, you've got to make sure that you could actually afford that higher excess if something does happen.
Absolutely. You don't want to be caught short.
Definitely not. Okay, let's shift gears a little bit and talk about mileage.
Right.
Cutting down on those miles, I'm guessing that's good for the wallet and for the planet.
It is. It's a win-win.
Yep.
So think about it. If you normally drive, say, 10,000 miles a year, but you start walking, cycling, taking public transport for those shorter trips, you could knock off, say, 2,000 miles. And that could easily translate into a 10% reduction in your premium.
Wow, that's significant. And yeah, it's good for the environment too, so double win.
Definitely.
All right, on to car security. Time to turn those cars into Fort Knox.
Yeah, well, maybe not quite Fort Knox. But the more secure your car is, the less attractive it is to thieves.
Yeah.
The lower the risk for the insurer, and ultimately, the lower your premium could be.
So I'm guessing things like parking in a garage,
Oh, yeah.
private driveway,
Huge difference.
all those fancy alarms and immobilizers.
All of that helps.
And what about dash cams? They're not just for capturing those crazy road rage incidents anymore, are they?
No, they're not. In fact, some insurers will actually give you a discount for having a dash cam, especially the ones that record both front and rear views, because it's all about the evidence, right?
Right, so it's like having an extra set of eyes on the road.
Absolutely.
Okay, are you ready for this one? Credit scores. They apparently play a role in UK car insurance.
They do. It might seem strange. But in the UK, insurers can actually take your credit score into account when they're calculating your premium.
Wow, so it's not just about your driving history.
No, it's about your financial history, too.
So it's like building a good reputation, not just with banks, but with insurance companies as well.
Exactly. So paying those bills on time, keeping your credit card balances in check, all of that can actually help you in the long run with your car insurance.
It's like a financial fitness regime.
It is. For your credit score.
For your credit score, exactly. Okay, let's talk about this black box insurance. I've heard so much about it. Is it as scary as it sounds?
Well, it's called telematics. And it's becoming really popular, especially for younger drivers. So basically, it's a little device in your car, or sometimes even just an app on your phone that's monitoring your driving.
Okay, so it's watching everything I do.
It's not really about spying. It's about collecting data,
Yeah.
your speed, your braking, even what times of day you're driving. And if you're a safe and responsible driver, all that data can translate into some pretty big discounts on your premium.
I see. So it's especially good for younger drivers then.
Especially, yeah, because they often get hit with those really high premiums just because of their age.
Right. So this is a chance to prove they're actually a good driver.
Exactly. It gives them a chance to shine.
All right. Let's talk about something that might be a bit of a dilemma for people who love to personalize their cars. car modification.
Ah, yes, the pimp-I-ride dilemma.
Exactly. So I have a feeling those dreams of a tricked-out car might clash with those dreams of lower insurance premiums.
They often do. Even small things like tinted windows, alloy wheels, performance upgrades can actually increase your premium.
Really?
Yeah, they make your car more attractive to thieves and potentially increase the risk of an accident.
Right. So it's all about risk for the insurer.
It is. And remember, it's crucial to declare any modifications to your insurer, even something as small as changing your stereo.
Okay, so honesty is the best policy here.
Always, always.
Now, what about adding a named driver? Can that help lower the cost of insurance?
It can be a bit of a double-edged sword. So let's say you're a young driver and you add your parent, who's got a squeaky clean driving record. As a named driver, that could potentially lower the overall cost.
Right, so you're kind of using their good driving history.
Exactly. But here's the big caveat. The main driver has to be the person who actually does the majority of the driving.
Oh, okay, so no trying to trick the system.
No. That's called fronting, and it's illegal.
Right, so no fronting. All right, let's talk about how we pay for car insurance. Is there a best way to do it?
Well, those monthly payments might seem tempting, but they often end up costing you more in the long run because of those pesky interest charges.
So paying annually in one lump sum?
Yeah, if you can swing it, that's usually the savvier option.
But of course, that's not feasible for everyone.
No, it depends on your budget.
Absolutely. Okay, let's talk about those drivers who are all about improving their skills. Advanced driving courses, are they? Are they just for people who want to be race car drivers?
No, not at all, haha. There are some great programs out there, like Pass Plus, which goes beyond the basic driving test. Things like motorway driving, night driving, challenging weather conditions.
So it's all about taking your skills to the next level.
Exactly. And the best part is, a lot of insurers will actually give you a discount for completing one of those courses.
Really?
Yeah, because it shows them that you're serious about being a safe driver.
So it's like an investment in yourself that can actually pay off.
It is an investment in your skills and potentially your wallet.
Okay, now for a bit of a reality check.
All right.
Car size.
Ah, yes.
Does it really matter when it comes to car insurance?
It does. Those smaller, less powerful cars, they tend to be a lot more budget-friendly when it comes to insurance. In the UK, you've got these things called insurance groups. And the lower the group, the lower the risk. And therefore, the lower the premium.
So if you're shopping for a new car, it's worth doing your research on those insurance groups.
Absolutely. Before you fall in love with a car that's going to cost you a fortune to insure.
Yeah, you don't want to be surprised by that.
No.
All right, let's end with the golden rule of car insurance.
The golden rule.
Drive safe.
Haha. Yes. It might seem obvious, but it really is the most effective way to keep those costs down in the long run.
So every year that you're claim-free.
Another point on that no claims bonus.
It's like a reward for good behavior.
Exactly. So drive defensively. Be aware of your surroundings, follow the rules of the road, not just to protect yourself and others, but also to build up that nice no claims history.
Makes sense. All right, well, we've covered a lot of ground already, but we're not done yet. Stay tuned for part 2 of our car insurance deep dive. We've got even more tips and strategies to uncover.
We do, coming right up. Welcome back to our car insurance deep dive.
Okay, so we've talked about comprehensive cover, but I feel like there's always more to the story.
Yeah, there are some nuances there. Things like windscreen cover, personal accident cover, those can add a bit to your premium, but they give you that extra protection.
Right, it's like customizing your coverage.
It is, tailoring it to your needs.
All right, now this one surprised me. Our jobs. They can actually affect our car insurance premiums.
They can, yeah. Insurers love their data, and they use it to assess risk. So,
yeah.
If you've got a job that involves a lot of driving, like a delivery driver, you're statistically more likely to make a claim.
That makes sense. So what about someone who, say, works from home, only uses their car for, like, the occasional trip to the supermarket?
They're going to be seen as lower risk, definitely. Less time on the road, less chance of an accident.
Right, so it's all connected. Speaking of location, I've always heard that where you live can make a big difference to your car insurance costs.
It's true. Your postcode can tell insurers a lot about the level of risk. Crime rates, traffic congestion, even how many other cars are in your area.
So living in a busy city center is going to cost more than a quiet village.
Generally, yes. More cars, more potential for accidents.
Makes sense. Okay, this one seems a bit strange to me. Marital status?
Oh, yeah.
Can that actually affect your car insurance?
It can,
Yeah.
statistically speaking. Married drivers tend to have fewer accidents and make fewer claims.
So it's like a responsible adult discount.
You could say that.
All right, what about classic cars? Is insuring a vintage beauty a whole different story?
It is. You're going to need specialist insurance for a classic car.
So I can't just use one of those comparison websites.
Probably not. You'll need to find an insurer who specializes in classic cars. They understand the unique risks, the value of those vehicles.
Right, so it's a bit more niche.
Definitely.
Okay, let's talk about electric cars. Are there any special considerations when it comes to insuring those?
Yeah, electric cars are becoming more and more popular, which is great for the environment. But they do present some challenges for insurers.
Like what?
Well, the technology is still relatively new, so repairs can be quite expensive.
I see, so higher repair costs, maybe higher premiums?
Potentially. But a lot of insurers are offering discounts for electric cars to encourage people to make the switch.
So it's kind of a balancing act.
It is, between those high repair costs and those green incentives.
Makes sense. Okay, what about those drivers who might be considered higher risk? Maybe they've had some accidents or convictions in the past. Are there any options for them?
Absolutely. There are specialist insurers out there who cater to drivers who don't fit that perfect driver profile.
So it's not a dead end if you've made some mistakes in the past.
Not at all. These specialists can help you find a policy that works for you.
That's good to know. Now, let's zoom out a bit and talk about the future of car insurance. Technology is changing everything, so I'm guessing it's having an impact on insurance as well.
Oh yeah, big time. We're seeing a lot of innovation, especially when it comes to using tech to personalize premiums and make the whole claims process smoother.
So we've talked about telematics, but are there any other cool tech advancements on the horizon?
Definitely. AI is starting to play a bigger role. Imagine an AI system that's analyzing tons of data, your driving record, your car's details, even your social media activity, to build a really accurate risk profile.
Wow, so it's like a supercomputer predicting your insurance future.
Kind of. Yeah, it's all about using data to make more informed decisions.
Okay, let's talk about the thing a bit less exciting. The rising cost of car insurance. It feels like those premiums are always going up.
I know, it's frustrating. There are a few factors at play. One of the biggest is the rising cost of repairs. Cars are getting more and more complex, so when they do need fixing, it costs more.
Right, more technology, more expensive parts.
Exactly, and then you've got the fact that there are just more cars on the road, which means more accidents, more claims.
So it's a combination of factors.
It is, unfortunately.
Okay, let's talk about car insurance scams. I feel like there are always stories in the news about people trying to pull a fast one.
Yeah, it's a real problem. There are all sorts of scams out there. Staged accidents, inflated claims, even fake reports of stolen cars.
It sounds crazy. How can we protect ourselves from becoming victims of these scams?
The best defense is awareness. Be wary of anyone who contacts you out of the blue with amazing deals. If it sounds too good to be true, it probably is.
Right, so no falling for those too good to be true offers.
Exactly. And be careful at accident scenes. Scammers sometimes target people who are stressed and confused. Never admit fault or sign anything without speaking to your insurer first.
Okay, that's good advice. Now let's talk about younger drivers. They always get hit with those high premiums. Are there any strategies they can use to make insurance a bit more affordable?
Absolutely. The key is to be proactive. As soon as they get their license, consider taking an advanced driving course. Like Pass Plus, it can really help lower those premiums.
So it's like a head start on building a good driving record.
Exactly. And when it comes to choosing a car, opt for something smaller, less powerful. Those are going to be much cheaper to insure.
Okay, so hold off on the sports car for a few years.
Yeah, probably a good idea.
What about adding a named driver? Is that ever a good strategy for younger drivers?
It can be, if it's done honestly and legitimately. Adding an experienced parent or guardian with a clean driving record can sometimes balance out that lack of experience.
Right, so it's all about finding those legitimate ways to save.
Absolutely. And of course, always shop around and compare quotes from different insurers.
Those comparison websites are our friends.
They are. Use them.
Now, what about buying a used car? Is there any way to check a vehicle's insurance history before you buy it?
There is. You can get a vehicle history report from a company like HPI or Experian.
Okay, and what kind of information will that tell me?
It'll give you details of any previous insurance claims, the car's mileage history, whether it's been stolen or written off, even how many previous owners it's had.
Wow, so it's like a background check for the car.
It is. It can really help you avoid any nasty surprises.
That's a great tip. Okay, let's talk about managing your car insurance online. I'm all about making things easier.
Me too. And luckily, most insurers have really good online portals these days. You can access your documents, make changes to your policy, even track claims, all online.
That's so convenient.
It is, and it gives you more control over your policy.
Now, with so many different car insurance policies out there, how do you even begin to choose the right one?
It can be overwhelming, but the first step is to figure out what level of cover you need.
Okay, remind me what the options are.
You've got third party only, which is the minimum legal requirement. Then there's third party fire and theft, which adds cover for, well, fire and theft. And then you've got comprehensive, which offers the most protection.
Right, so it's about finding the right balance between coverage and cost.
Exactly. Think about your circumstances, what level of risk you're comfortable with.
What else should we consider?
Your voluntary excess, a higher excess, can lower your premium. But you need to make sure you can afford it if you do make a claim.
Okay, what about the insurer themselves? Any red flags we should be looking out for?
Do your research, choose a company with a good reputation for paying claims fairly, read reviews, check their financial stability.
Okay, so it's like choosing a financial partner.
In a way, yeah.
Yeah.
All right, last question. Driverless cars. What's going to happen to car insurance in a world of driverless cars? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Driverless cars are designed to be safer, but accidents can still happen.
So insurance is still going to be important.
Oh yeah, absolutely. But it might look a bit different. We could see a shift away from insuring individual drivers to insuring the manufacturers of those driverless cars or the companies that develop the software.
Wow, so it's a whole new landscape.
It is. The future of car insurance is going to be very interesting.
Okay, let's bring it back down to earth for a second. Car maintenance. Does that play a role in keeping our insurance costs down?
Absolutely. A well-maintained car is less likely to break down, less likely to be in an accident, which means fewer claims.
So it's like preventative medicine for my car.
Exactly. Regular servicing, oil changes, tire checks, all of that helps.
Okay, now what if I'm buying a new car? Is there any way to factor in insurance costs before I make a decision?
Definitely. Remember those insurance group ratings? They're your best friend when car shopping. Check the insurance group for any car you're considering. It'll give you a good idea of how much it's going to cost to insure.
Right, so look beyond the sticker price.
Exactly. Think about those long-term costs.
Now, for those car enthusiasts out there, modifying your car, can you do that without voiding your insurance?
You can, but you need to be careful. Always, always inform your insurer about any modifications you make, even if they seem small.
So no sneaking in a spoiler without telling them.
Haha. No, honesty is key. Some modifications are seen as positive, like parking sensors or dash cams, because they improve safety.
But things like performance upgrades, those are probably frowned upon.
They are, yeah. They increase the risk of accidents.
Okay, what about driving in Europe? Does our UK car insurance automatically cover us for that?
Your standard policy might offer some limited cover, but it's really important to check the details. You might need to get additional coverage, like a European breakdown policy.
So it's worth doing your homework before you hit the road.
Definitely. The rules can vary between countries.
Okay, one last thing. Hybrid and electric cars. Is insuring those vehicles any different?
It can be. As we talked about earlier, those high-tech components can mean more expensive repairs. But the good news is that more and more insurers are offering discounts to encourage people to choose those greener options.
So it's a win-win for the environment and your wallet.
Hopefully, yeah.
Okay, I think we've covered just about everything. We've talked about choosing the right policy, managing your insurance online, even the future of car insurance.
It's been a comprehensive deep dive.
It has, and I feel like I've learned so much. But we're not quite done yet. Stay tuned for part 3. We've got even more car insurance wisdom to share.
We do. Coming right up.
All right, we're back for the final part of our car insurance deep dive.
Ready to wrap things up.
I am. I feel like we've covered so much ground already, but I'm sure there are still some nuggets of wisdom left to uncover.
Oh, definitely. We've got more to talk about.
Okay, so let's pick up where we left off. We were talking about all the changes happening in the car world, especially with these new hybrid and electric vehicles. Is insuring one of those a completely different experience?
It can be, yeah. I mean, we talked about those high-tech components.
Right.
They can mean more expensive repairs, which can sometimes lead to higher premiums.
Right.
But the good news is a lot of insurers are now offering discounts for hybrid and electric cars.
So they're recognizing that they're more eco-friendly?
They are, and they want to encourage people to make the switch.
That's great. So it's a win-win for the environment and your wallet.
Exactly.
Okay, what about those advanced safety features we're seeing in more and more cars? Things like automatic emergency braking, lane departure
Oh,
warnings.
yeah, those are becoming really common.
Do those have any impact on our insurance premiums?
They can, yeah. Insurers love those features because anything that can help prevent an accident or reduce the severity of an accident is a good thing in their eyes.
So it's like having an extra layer of protection. And it might even save you some money on your insurance.
Potentially, yeah.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit and talk about those big life events that can sometimes throw things off kilter. Getting married, having kids, moving house.
Oh, yeah, those can definitely have an impact.
Can they really affect our car insurance premiums?
They can, because they often mean changes to your driving habits and risk profile.
Right, so it's not just about the car, it's about our lives.
Exactly. So, for example, getting married or having kids, that can sometimes lead to lower premiums.
Really?
Yeah, because insurers might see those as signs of increased stability.
Okay, so it's like a family discount.
Uh-huh. You can think of it that way.
What about moving house?
That can also affect your premiums, even if you keep the same car. Your new postcode might mean a higher or lower risk depending on the area.
Right, so it's like a whole new risk assessment every time you move?
It is, and don't forget about job changes. Some jobs are considered higher risk, and that can affect your premiums too.
Okay, so keep your insurer in the loop about any big life changes.
Definitely. The more information they have, the better.
Now let's talk about something no one really enjoys. Dealing with insurance paperwork and admin.
Oh yeah, I know what you mean.
Any tips for making that whole process a bit less painful?
Well, first of all, use those comparison websites. They can save you so much time and hassle when you're shopping for insurance.
Definitely, they're lifesavers.
And once you've got your policy, keep your documents organized. Have everything in one place so you can easily find it if you need it.
Okay, that makes sense. Now, once you've found that perfect policy, how can you make sure you're really getting the most out of it?
Well, the first thing is read those policy documents carefully. I know it's tempting to just skim through them,
Guilty as charged.
but it's really important to understand what's covered and what's not covered.
Okay, no more skimming for me.
And keep your insurer informed about any changes to your circumstances, like your address, your mileage, any modifications you make to your car.
Right, so be proactive and stay on top of things.
Ex-
And if you do need to make a claim, report it as soon as possible.
And provide all the necessary information promptly. The smoother the claims process, the better for everyone.
All right, well, I think we've come to the end of our car insurance deep dive. We've explored everything from choosing the right policy to understanding how those premiums are calculated to keeping our cars safe and secure.
We've covered a lot of ground.
We have, and I feel like I've learned so much.
Me too. It's been a great conversation.
It has, and I hope our listeners feel more confident about navigating the world of UK car insurance.
That's the goal.
Absolutely. So remember, be proactive, be informed, and don't be afraid to shop around for the best deals.
And most importantly, drive safely out there.
Couldn't agree more. That's all for this episode of The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next time.
See you then. Okay, so say you're turning 80 soon.
Big birthday.
Huge milestone. Congratulations. But with all the excitement of a new decade, you might be wondering about something not so fun.
Yeah, I bet.
What does it mean for my car insurance?
It's true. Nobody likes seeing their bills go up, right?
Right.
But before you start stressing about those premiums, let's dive into why this happens and, more importantly, what you can do about it.
Exactly. Get informed and empowered, because knowledge is definitely power in this situation. We're looking at some really interesting information from this text you shared about how car insurance can change as we get older.
Right.
We're going to break down not just the what, but the why behind these changes. Plus, we've got some practical tips
I like it.
that might just save you some cash along the way.
Gotta love that.
Exactly. So let's get right into it.
Okay.
Why does car insurance often go up when you hit the big 8-row? Feels a little unfair, right? Like, just because I'm turning 80 doesn't mean I'm suddenly a worse driver.
I hear you, and you're right. It's not about age itself turning you into a different driver overnight.
Yeah.
But statistically speaking, data shows that drivers over 80 do have a slightly higher risk of accidents.
Okay.
Insurance is fundamentally about assessing and pricing risk.
So it's not personal, it's just statistics.
Exactly. Insurers use mountains of data to calculate these risks.
Okay.
It might feel impersonal,
Yeah.
but that's how they figure out those premiums.
Okay, but what kind of data are we talking about here? What makes that risk go up? Is it just because we're getting older?
Well, it's not about age as a number, but about factors that can sometimes come with aging.
Yeah.
Things like potential declines in reflexes or vision, to be specific about that risk increase. Studies have shown that drivers over 80 see an average increase of about 15% in their premiums.
15%.
Compared to younger drivers.
Okay, so that's good to know. At least it's not doubling overnight like I secretly feared.
Yeah.
But still, I bet a lot of people listening are thinking, hey, wait a minute. I'm 80 and I'm a great driver. I'm more cautious now than I was in my 20s.
Absolutely, and that's really important to remember.
Yeah.
The source you provided even points out that older drivers are often much more experienced on the road.
Yeah.
They've seen it all, right?
Right.
And many are exceptionally cautious, driving less frequently and taking fewer risks.
Right. And in my family, my grandma actually drives less now than anyone else. She basically just goes to the grocery store and back.
I was going to say that.
So it makes sense that that would play a role too.
Absolutely.
Right.
If we connect that to the bigger picture, you're not just a number in this system.
Yeah.
You have more control over these costs than you might realize.
Okay, that's a good segue into the next big question on everyone's mind.
Okay.
How much will those rates actually go up?
Thankfully, it's usually not a dramatic spike right when you hit that 80th birthday.
Oh, okay.
The increase is typically gradual.
Okay, that's reassuring. But I'm guessing it varies quite a bit.
Absolutely.
Depending on a bunch of factors.
You got it. The specific company you're with, your driving history, even where you live. It all plays a role in those final numbers,
right.
Which is why it's even more important to be proactive and understand those factors you can control.
This is where it gets really interesting to me.
Okay.
The idea that you're not just stuck
Exactly.
with whatever number the insurance company throws at you.
Exactly. And that's why we're here
Right.
to give you the knowledge to take charge.
So hit me with those tips. What can people actually do to manage those costs?
First and foremost, don't be afraid to shop around.
Yeah.
You mentioned your grandma only driving to the grocery store and back.
Yeah.
Her needs might be different
Right.
from someone who's still commuting every day.
Right.
Different companies have different formulas for calculating risk and setting rates.
Yeah.
And some might be more favorable to drivers who are, let's say, seasoned
Right.
and prioritize safety.
Yeah, it's like finding the perfect pair of shoes. Not every style fits everyone.
It's worth comparing quotes from multiple insurers, especially as you hit this age milestone.
Okay.
You might be surprised at the variations you find.
And these days, you can do so much of that online.
Right.
So convenient.
Super easy.
Okay, what else?
Next up, take a close look at your coverage.
Okay.
Do you really need that super comprehensive plan? If you're mainly driving locally,
Right.
not racking up a ton of miles,
Yeah.
maybe not.
Yeah.
Adjusting your coverage to fit your actual needs can be a smart way to save.
That's a great point, because sometimes we're paying for things that we don't even use.
Yeah, totally.
It's about finding that sweet spot between being covered and not overpaying, right?
Absolutely. It's all about balance.
Yeah.
Speaking of things that are good for you,
Okay.
don't forget about senior discounts.
Oh, yes, please.
They exist. They can actually be pretty significant.
No, those are discounts I can get behind.
Yeah,
Everyone loves saving money.
for sure. And the source you shared even mentioned discounts for things like taking a refresher course
Okay.
or a defensive driving class.
That's a win-win.
Right.
Brush up on your skills and potentially lower those costs.
Exactly. These courses are usually pretty short and can do wonders
Yeah.
for refreshing your knowledge,
Okay.
demonstrating to your insurer that you're committed to staying safe on the road.
Okay, so we've got shopping around, adjusting coverage,
Yeah.
taking advantage of discounts.
Right.
What other tips are in your arsenal?
This one might seem obvious,
Okay.
but it's often overlooked.
Okay.
Mileage matters.
Oh, of course.
If you're driving less than, say, 5,000 miles a year,
Okay.
make sure your insurance company knows that low mileage means lower risk in their eyes,
Yeah.
which can often translate to lower premiums.
Makes sense.
Don't be shy about sharing those driving habits.
Okay, so we've got all these practical tips for saving money. But I kind of want to go a little deeper here.
Okay.
Is it truly fair
Oh, here we go.
to raise rates based solely on age?
Right.
I mean, people age so differently.
That's a great question.
Yeah.
It's where things get a little more complex.
Okay.
The source you provided highlights this tension between using data
Yeah.
and considering individual differences.
Right.
On the one hand,
Okay.
insurers have this data
Right.
that supports the idea of a slightly higher risk
Okay.
in this age group overall.
Right. We talked about those potential age-related changes.
Exactly. But on the other hand,
Yeah.
one 80-year-old might be in
Yeah.
great health, sharp as a tack,
Right.
no issues driving whatsoever,
Right.
while another might have limitations that
Yeah.
do impact their abilities
Yeah.
behind the wheel.
So it really raises an important question.
It does.
Is a blanket age-based
Yeah.
approach
Fred.
the most accurate or fair way to assess risk?
Right. I can see both sides of it.
Yeah.
It makes sense to use data to get a general picture.
Yep.
But it does feel a little unfair to just lump everyone together because of their birthday, you know?
Yeah, like what about all those safe and experienced drivers
Exactly.
who just happen to be over 80?
It's a valid point.
Right.
And there's a growing conversation
Yeah.
about how to balance data-driven decisions
Yeah.
with more personalized assessments.
Right.
Some experts are suggesting that insurers should be looking more closely at individual driving habits
Okay.
and health records if privacy allows to get a
Okay.
more accurate picture of individual risk.
That makes a lot of sense to me.
Right.
So what are some of the specific ways they could do that?
Well, one exciting development is telematics.
What is that?
That's basically using technology
Okay.
to monitor driving behavior
Okay.
in real time.
Oh, like a fitness tracker, but for your car?
Exactly. Some insurance companies are already offering programs
Okay.
where you install a small device in your car
Okay.
or use an app on your phone.
Okay.
And it tracks things like your speed, braking habits,
Okay.
how smoothly you accelerate,
Ow.
even the time of day you're driving.
So they're looking at your actual driving style,
Yeah.
not just assumptions.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool.
It is. And the really interesting thing
Yeah.
is that this data can actually work in your favor.
All right.
If you're a safe and responsible driver,
Right.
you can potentially earn discounts on your premiums.
Oh, I like that.
It's like getting rewarded for good behavior.
Way more fair
Right.
than just being penalized for getting older.
Exactly.
Are there any other personalized approaches on the horizon?
Definitely. There's a lot of talk about incorporating things like
Okay.
cognitive testing
Okay.
into the assessment process.
Okay, so like brain games and stuff.
Yeah, these tests can measure things like reaction time, attention span,
Okay.
decision-making skills.
Right.
Which can provide valuable insights
Okay.
into a driver's cognitive abilities,
Yeah.
regardless of their age.
So it's about looking at the whole picture.
Exactly.
Your physical and mental abilities as a driver.
And it's not just about risk assessment either.
Okay.
This kind of personalized data can also be incredibly helpful for
Yeah.
identifying potential issues early on.
Right.
Maybe even before they become a safety concern.
Oh, so it's like preventative care.
I like that analogy.
Yeah.
And it's something we should all be thinking about,
Right.
no matter our age.
Right.
How can we be proactive about staying healthy and maintaining
Okay.
those safe driving habits as we get older,
That's a powerful message.
right?
So for our listener who's turning 80,
Right?
or maybe you're just thinking ahead,
Mm-hmm.
hitting this milestone doesn't have to mean a car insurance nightmare.
Absolutely. With a little knowledge
Yeah.
and proactive effort,
Yeah.
you can navigate this transition with confidence, keep those costs under control.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here,
We have.
from the reasons behind those increasing premiums.
Yep.
Practical tips for saving money,
Mm-hmm.
even a glimpse into the future
Right.
of personalized insurance.
It's fascinating to think about how much the landscape of car insurance is evolving.
Yeah.
It's really empowering
Yeah.
to realize that we as drivers have more agency than ever before.
I totally agree.
Right.
As we wrap things up,
Okay.
I want to leave our listener with something to ponder,
I like it.
inspired by everything we've talked about today.
Okay.
If insurance is all about data and risk,
Mm-hmm.
what other factors should companies be considering beyond just age and those traditional metrics?
Right.
What about things like driving style,
Yeah.
reaction time,
Mm-hmm.
maybe even sleep patterns?
That's a fantastic question.
Yeah.
The possibilities really are expanding as technology continues to advance.
Right.
We're seeing the emergence of things like artificial intelligence, machine learning that can analyze massive amounts of data and identify patterns that humans might miss.
It's like the insurance industry is on the verge of a technological revolution.
Yeah.
It's like the whole concept of insurance is becoming more personalized
Yeah.
and proactive. Instead of just reacting to accidents, they're trying to prevent them.
Exactly. It's a really exciting shift.
Yeah.
And it has the potential to benefit everyone, not just insurance companies, but
Right.
drivers of all ages.
So to wrap things up,
Okay.
any final words of wisdom for our listener
Sure.
as they navigate this new decade of driving?
I'd say embrace your experience, stay informed, and don't be afraid to ask questions.
Okay.
You have more control over your insurance costs than
Right.
you might think.
I like it. Beautifully said. Okay, folks, that's our deep dive
That was funny.
into car insurance and what it means
Yeah.
as you hit those milestone birthdays.
Big birthdays.
We hope you found it informative and insightful.
Yeah.
And maybe even a little bit empowering.
For sure.
Remember, knowledge is power.
Absolutely.
And now you've got the tools
You do.
to make informed decisions
All right.
about your car insurance.
So important.
And until next time, stay curious and drive safe.
All right, let's dive into how car insurance might change when you hit 80. It's one of those questions that comes up for drivers as they reach their later years. And it makes sense. You've probably noticed that insurance premiums tend to go down a bit when you reach middle age. But as you head into your 70s and 80s, that trend can start to shift, and insurers may begin to raise rates. Let's take a closer look at why this happens and what you can do about it. Why does age affect car insurance? Insurance companies rely on tons of data to figure out risk factors. They look at things like driving habits, accident rates, and even health statistics. Unfortunately, as we get older, insurers see increased risk, especially once drivers hit 80. Studies show that reaction times and visual acuity tend to decline with age, and certain health issues, like arthritis or vision problems, can make driving more challenging. This can lead to higher accident rates among older drivers, which is why insurers start adjusting premiums upward. How much of an increase should you expect? The amount your premium goes up can depend on a few factors, including your driving record, the state you live in, and the insurance company itself. Some people might only see a small increase, while others could experience a more noticeable hike. Typically, drivers over 80 might see their premiums rise by 10 to 20%, but this varies. Insurers still look at individual driving histories, so if you've been accident-free with a clean record, you might see less of an increase. Ways to help offset rising costs. The good news is that there are a few things you can do to help keep your premium as low as possible. For one, consider taking a defensive driving course designed specifically for older drivers. Some insurance companies offer discounts for completing these courses, as they see it as a sign that you're committed to safe driving. Another option is to review your coverage. Maybe you no longer need that high mileage limit, or maybe you're driving a newer car that could qualify for a different level of coverage. Small adjustments to your policy can sometimes help reduce your premium without sacrificing necessary protection. Think about switching insurers. As we age, our insurance needs can change, and the company that offered the best rate when you were younger may not be the best fit now. Shopping around and getting quotes from different insurers is a great idea, especially if you feel your current provider's rates are climbing more than expected. Some companies offer specific policies geared towards seniors or may have more competitive rates for drivers over 80. Look at telematics or usage-based insurance. Another option that might work well, especially if you're driving less, is telematics or usage-based insurance. With these types of policies, a small device or app tracks your driving habits, like speed, mileage, and braking. If you're a careful driver with low annual mileage, telematics can often save you money. For seniors who only drive occasionally, this can be a smart way to keep premiums down since you're only paying based on how and when you actually use your car. Conclusion: staying safe and saving on insurance. So yes, car insurance can go up when you turn 80, but it's not necessarily inevitable or uncontrollable. Staying proactive and taking steps like defensive driving courses, reviewing your coverage, or considering telematics can all help you keep costs manageable. It's all about finding the right fit for your current driving needs and habits. In the end, the goal is to make sure you have coverage that protects you and feels fair, without breaking the bank. I hope this helps clarify things, and if you have more questions, don't hesitate to reach out. All right, let's dive into the timing factor in car insurance pricing. A lot of people don't realize this, but the time of day you buy your insurance can actually impact the quote you get. Crazy, right? Insurance companies operate based on data, and their algorithms look at all sorts of patterns, including when people are buying policies. Let's explore how this works, when you might find better rates, and how a few hours can sometimes make a surprising difference. Timing can influence your premium. Now, if you think about it, insurers have piles of data on customer behavior. They know when people tend to buy insurance, how long they shop around, and even when they're most likely to just go with the first quote they get. One of the patterns they've picked up is that people who purchase insurance late at night or early in the morning are often doing it out of necessity or a last-minute rush. This can lead insurers to view these customers as higher risk or as less likely to shop around, so they're not always given the best possible rates. When are the best times to buy? If you're looking to snag the best deal, experts generally suggest checking rates and purchasing a policy during standard business hours, ideally mid-morning or early afternoon. Around 8 to 9 a.m. or 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. are often recommended. The reasoning is that people who shop during these hours are seen as proactive and organized, qualities that insurers link to lower risk behavior. It's all a bit subtle, but these little time-based biases can factor into the rate you're offered. Why not late at night? Insurance companies know that late-night buyers might be scrambling for coverage. Maybe they're buying insurance for a new car they've just purchased, or they're renewing last minute. These situations can be seen as high stress or rushed, and because of that, some insurers are less likely to offer discounted rates. The algorithms they use might also assume that late-night customers aren't as likely to shop around, which can slightly affect the price they're quoted. Weekend versus weekday. Another thing to consider is the day of the week. Some studies suggest that Mondays or Tuesdays are better days for purchasing insurance because these are typically less busy for insurers, and there's less weekend panic buying pressure. People who shop early in the week tend to be seen as organized, budget conscious, and more likely to compare rates across multiple providers. By Thursday and Friday, insurance rates can start to creep up a bit as more people try to wrap up their to-dos for the week. Should you plan ahead? One of the best strategies, if you're aiming for the lowest possible rate, is to get a quote in advance. If you can, start shopping for car insurance a few weeks before you actually need it. When insurers see that you're requesting a start date weeks out, they tend to view you as a lower risk, organized customer, and that can make a difference in your rate. Just by planning ahead, you might be able to save a nice chunk of change. Recap: best times to shop. To sum it all up, if you're looking for the lowest rates, aim to shop mid-morning or early afternoon, preferably on a weekday like Monday or Tuesday. And if you can, plan ahead to request quotes a few weeks before your coverage needs to start. It's not a magic formula, but it can help tip the scales in your favor, especially when you're already trying to be smart with your money. So next time you're looking for car insurance, remember, timing might just be on your side. If you're strategic about when you get those quotes, you could save a bit more without any extra effort. And if you have more questions about insurance tips, feel free to reach out. I'm here to help make things clear and save you as much as possible. Let's talk about mileage limits and how they impact your insurance. It's a common question and an important one because understanding it can save you from some potential headaches. When you sign up for an insurance policy, the premium you pay is partly based on the estimated annual mileage you provide. Insurance companies use this figure to assess risk. The more you're on the road, the higher the likelihood of an accident. So, if you're planning to drive, say, 5,000 miles a year, your insurer might offer a lower rate compared to someone driving 15,000 miles. But what happens if you go over your mileage? Here's the good news. In most cases, simply going over the limit won't automatically void your insurance. Your coverage isn't suddenly invalid if you exceed your estimate by a bit. However, it could have some consequences depending on how much you go over and your insurance company's policies. Let's break this down a bit. Generally, if you're only over by a small amount, maybe a few hundred miles or so, you probably won't see much of an impact. Insurers expect that life can be unpredictable, and some flexibility is often built into policies. But if you're consistently way over, say you estimated 5,000 miles and you're actually driving 12,000, that's a different story. Some insurers could view this as a significant change in your risk profile. And if you're ever in an accident, it could come up during a claims assessment, which might lead to higher premiums or even a potential denial of a claim. Another point to remember is how exceeding mileage can affect renewal. When your policy comes up for renewal, insurers will often ask for an updated mileage estimate. If they notice that you've been consistently driving more than your original estimate, they may adjust your premium to reflect this. That way, you're still covered, but you might end up paying a little more to account for the increased risk. So, what's the best approach? My recommendation is to be honest with your insurer. If you realize mid-year that you're going to be driving a lot more than anticipated, give them a call and update your mileage estimate. It may slightly increase your premium, but it's much better than risking issues with coverage down the line. In summary, going over your mileage won't immediately void your policy, but it can impact your premiums and potentially how a claim is handled if there's an accident. By staying proactive and keeping your insurer informed, you can avoid surprises and ensure you're always covered correctly. I hope this clears things up. And if you have more questions about mileage or anything else insurance related, feel free to ask.
Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving into a topic today that could really hit your wallet hard, especially if you're a younger driver, or maybe you're like, helping out a new driver figure out this crazy world of car insurance.
Yeah, for sure. We're going deep on black box insurance. You might know it as telematics insurance.
Okay, so black box insurance sounds kind of like, I don't know, mysterious. What is it?
It's actually pretty simple. Just imagine like a tiny little device. It's in your car, or maybe it's an app, right? On your phone. And it's basically watching how you drive.
So it's like this silent passenger, just like judging my every move.
Well, maybe not judging, but it is keeping track, like how fast you're going, how hard you brake, taking those corners, even what time of day you're out driving around.
So if I'm weaving through traffic and like slamming on my brakes at every red light, my insurance company's going to know.
Let's just say they'll definitely get a good idea about, your driving style. But here's the thing, and this is where it gets good. So unlike regular insurance, the kind that just looks at your age and your driving record, black box insurance, this looks at you, how you actually drive.
So basically you're proving to them, hey, I'm a good driver. And they're like, okay, we see that. Here's a discount.
Exactly. So it can be a really great deal, especially for younger drivers, because, they're usually the ones stuck with those crazy high insurance rates just because they're young.
Makes sense. We've all been there, right? Those early years, insurance seems impossible.
Right. And that's because statistically, younger drivers, well, they tend to get into more accidents. So regular insurance companies, they just charge them more to cover that risk. But black box insurance, it's different. Gives those young folks a chance to show off their skills, maybe pay a little less.
Okay, starting to see why it's so popular. But let's get specific. What are the actual good things about black box insurance?
Well, the biggest one is you can save money, lower premiums, And for a young person on a budget, well, that's a big deal, especially when you're just starting out.
Yeah, I remember those days. Every dollar counted. But it's got to be more than just saving money, right?
Absolutely. There's more. Black box insurance, it can actually make you a safer driver. Think about it. Someone's watching. You're less likely to speed or take those crazy risks, right?
It's like having that little voice in your head saying, hey, slow down. Makes the road safer for everyone.
Exactly. And like I said earlier, these policies, they're all about you, how you drive, not about lumping you in with everyone else your age.
I love that. Like, hey, we're judging you on what you do, not on some dumb stereotype about young drivers. But I'm guessing it can't be all good. What about the downsides? What should young drivers look out for before jumping into a black box policy?
That is a great question, and that's what we're going to dig into.
Okay, perfect. Let's take a quick break and we'll be right back.
So we were talking about downsides. Black box insurance, what are they?
Right. It sounds like it could be a pretty good deal if you're, a careful driver. But there's got to be some catches, right?
There are definitely things to think about. I think for a lot of people, the big one is privacy. You know, having every single move you make on the road tracked, it can feel a little creepy.
Yeah, I get that. Like, it's one thing if it's just my speed, but some of these things, they can see where you are, even how smoothly you're accelerating.
Exactly. And that's just too much for some people. Even if they're not doing anything wrong, it's a real concern.
For sure. So you said good driving can mean lower costs, but can a black box actually make your insurance go up?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. One thing to remember is that even little mistakes can count against you. Like if you brake too hard sometimes, that can actually make your premiums go up.
Do you always under pressure?
Yeah.
Kind of makes you nervous to even drive.
Yeah, some people feel that way. With regular insurance, at least you know what you're paying, even if you mess up a little.
It's predictable.
Yeah.
So are there other downsides? Anything else we should be thinking about?
Well, there's the issue of restrictions. Some black box policies, they don't want you driving at certain times, like late at night, even if you're a safe driver.
Wait, so even if I'm super careful, if I have to drive home late from work, I could be penalized?
That's right. Because statistically, there are more accidents late at night, no matter how good a driver you are.
I see the logic, but come on. What about people who work nights? Or people who just like to drive at night? It's not always about being reckless.
You're right, and that's why it's so important to really read that policy carefully. Before you sign up, make sure it fits how you live and drive.
So how do you know if black box insurance is a good idea for you? What are the, key things to think about?
First of all, you got to be honest with yourself about your driving. Are you a careful driver? Do you speed a lot? Brake hard?
Because if you're already a pretty safe driver, you're probably going to do well with the black box.
Exactly. It's all about the scoring system. Different companies, they look at different things. Some care a lot about speed. Some, they really focus on braking hard.
So it's not just about being a good or bad driver. It's about knowing what they're looking for.
Right. You got to do your research, make sure the policy fits you. Like, if you know you speed a little, maybe don't pick a company that's super strict about that.
That makes sense. So what else should people consider
Mm.
when they're making this decision?
Well, think about how comfortable you are with being monitored. If you really value your privacy, maybe black box isn't for you, even if it could save you money.
Right. It's about what's important to you.
Yeah, exactly. Some people are fine with it. They figure, hey, a little less privacy for lower insurance, worth it. But others, they just don't like it. And that's okay. There's no right or wrong answer.
Okay, so driving habits, privacy, what else?
Well, think about your driving patterns. Do you mostly drive during the day? Or are you out there late at night? City driving, highway, all of that matters. It can affect your premiums.
So someone who's mostly cruising on the highway, they're going to have a different experience than someone stuck in rush hour traffic all the time.
Exactly. It's all about context. And these companies are using that context to figure out how risky you are.
This is making me realize just how personalized this stuff is. It's not just about your age or if you're male or female. It's about you, what you actually do behind the wheel.
That's it. And that's a big change for the insurance industry. They're moving away from those old stereotypes, using data to get a better picture of you as a driver.
But data brings up privacy again, right?
Yeah.
A lot of people are worried about that with black box insurance. How do these companies handle that?
Yeah, it's a good question. And the good companies, they're taking it seriously. They use all kinds of security stuff, encryption and things like that, to keep your information safe.
So they're not selling my driving data to advertisers or anything?
Nope. There are laws about that. They can get in big trouble. Plus, they want you to trust them, so they got to protect that information.
That makes me feel better. But even with all that, some people are still going to be a little freaked out.
Of course. And that's totally fine. It's your choice. You got to weigh the pros and cons.
Okay, so we've talked a lot about black box insurance. What's the bottom line? Is this the future of car insurance?
It's definitely shaking things up. And yeah, I think we're going to see a lot more people using it in the future.
Especially younger drivers. They're more comfortable with all the tech stuff.
Exactly. But remember, it's still a new thing. It's going to keep changing. New ideas, new features. Companies are going to keep getting better at figuring out how risky you are as a driver.
That's exciting. It sounds like the future of car insurance is all about using data to make things more personalized.
I think you're right about that. But no matter how fancy the technology gets, the most important thing is still being a safe driver.
Couldn't agree more. That's what matters most. Okay, well, that's about it for our deep dive into black box insurance. Hope you learned something.
It's been great talking about this with you.
And as always, keep learning, keep asking questions, try safe out there.
Thanks for joining us. So, real life examples, you mentioned those before. Who actually benefits the most from this black box thing? Well, we've been talking about young drivers, right? They're the ones these companies are really going after. But even then, it's not so simple.
Right, because not all young drivers are the same. Some are super careful. Others are, well, still learning.
Exactly. And that's where black box can be really helpful. For those careful young drivers, it's a way to prove they're not just another risky teenager, you know? If you're new to driving and you're doing everything right, you could actually save a ton of money.
So it's almost like a reward for good driving.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it. And it's not just about the money you save right now. It's also about building good habits. Habits that will keep you safe for years to come.
It's like an investment. Not just in your wallet, but in your safety too.
Exactly. But it's not just for young drivers. There are other people who might like black box insurance too. Think about people who don't drive during rush hour, or people who live in areas where there's not a lot of traffic. They're less likely to get into accidents, statistically speaking, so they might see lower premiums.
So if I work from home and only drive to the store during the day when it's quiet, black box might be good for me.
It could be. It's really about thinking about how you drive and then seeing if that matches up with how these insurance companies assess risk.
This is making me realize how personalized this stuff is getting. It's not about being 25 or being a woman or whatever. It's about how you actually drive your car.
That's the big change. The insurance industry is using data to get a much more accurate picture of each individual driver.
But all this data, I know a lot of people are worried about privacy. What do these companies say about that?
It's a valid concern, and the good companies, they're taking it seriously. They use all kinds of security measures to protect your data.
So they're not going to sell my driving data to marketing companies or something?
No, they can't do that. There are laws about data privacy, and they know if they get caught doing shady stuff, they're in big trouble. Plus, they want you to trust them.
Okay, that's good to hear. But even then, some people are just not going to be comfortable sharing all that information.
And that's okay. It's a personal choice. You got to decide what's important to you.
Okay, so wrapping up our deep dive on black box insurance, what are your final thoughts? Is this the future?
I think it's a big part of the future, yeah. We're going to see a lot more of this technology in the coming years.
Especially as younger people, the ones who grew up with all this technology, they're more comfortable sharing data.
Exactly. But keep in mind, this is all still pretty new. It's going to keep evolving. Companies are going to keep getting better at using data to assess risk. And who knows what new features they'll come up with.
Exciting times. So it sounds like the future of car insurance is going to be all about data and personalized policies.
I think that's a pretty safe bet. But no matter what, the most important thing is still being a safe and responsible driver.
Absolutely. That's something we can all agree on. Well, that brings our deep dive to a close. Thanks for joining us, everyone. We hope you found this exploration of black box insurance insightful.
It's been great chatting with you. And remember, stay curious out there.
And safe travels. Thanks for listening.
All right, everyone, buckle up, because today we're going to dive headfirst into this whole mystery of why car insurance for young drivers is so crazy expensive. I mean, you finally get that freedom of the open road and bam, you're hit with a premium that practically drains your bank account. But by the end of this deep dive, you'll not only understand the why behind those sky-high costs, you'll also have some insider tips to potentially lower them. We're going to be dissecting this really insightful piece. It's called Why is Car Insurance for Young Drivers So Expensive? Now, I'm no insurance expert, so joining us is someone who can shed some serious light on this whole topic.
Well, let's just say I've spent a good amount of time deciphering the world of insurance, ready to demystify it.
Absolutely. Let's start with the basics. Insurance is all about risk, right? And I guess statistically speaking, we young drivers are talking red flags.
Well, not exactly talking red flags.
Yeah.
But there's definitely truth to the idea that younger drivers statistically pose a higher risk to insurance companies. Drivers under 25 are almost twice as likely to be involved in serious accidents, especially in that first year of driving solo.
Okay, I see where they're coming from. We're still kind of getting used to handling different driving situations, fine-tuning those reactions. It's like, remember when we first learned to ride bikes? A few wobbles, maybe a scraped knee or two before we were cruising like pros.
Exactly. It takes time and practice to build those, crucial driving instincts. But here's the thing. It's not just about being a new driver. This article highlights how the choices we young drivers make play a huge role in those insurance premiums.
Wait, really? Like what? You mean blasting my favorite tunes isn't helping my case?
Well, while good music choices never hurt anyone, think more along the lines of the cars we drive. Let's be honest, a lot of us are on a tight budget, right? So we go for those older, cheaper cars. But guess what? Those often lack the advanced safety features that newer models have.
Ah, so like those fancy lane departure warnings. An automatic emergency braking system.
Precisely. Those features are like gold to insurance companies. They can significantly reduce the severity of accidents, which translates into lower claim costs for them. So if your car doesn't have them, you're considered a higher risk.
Okay, I'm starting to see how everything connects. But let's be honest, some of us young drivers aren't rocking the old clunkers. We've got our eyes on those sporty, high-performance cars. That doesn't exactly scream safe driver to an insurance company, does it?
That's an interesting point. You hit the nail on the head. Insurers see those types of cars as inherently riskier, primarily due to their potential for speed. They're statistically more likely to be involved in accidents. So that gets factored into the premium. So yeah, that dream car could come with a hefty insurance price tag.
All right, so no speeding, got it. But this article mentions another factor I never would guessed. Our parents' driving history. What, are you telling me my parents' fender benders from years ago could come back to haunt Amy?
It might sound crazy, but yeah, family history plays a role. If your parents have a history of accidents or claims, insurers might assume a pattern. It's all about predicting risk, remember?
Wow, I had no idea. But wait, let's say my parents have squeaky clean driving records. Does that mean I'm in the clear?
Actually, that can work in your favor, especially if you're added to their policy as an occasional driver. Think of it as getting a little good driver boost from your folks.
Okay, that's a relief. So we've got inexperience, our choice of cars, and even our parents' driving history impacting those premiums. What else is there?
Well, believe it or not, location is another big one. Think about where you live. It's like a postcode lottery when it comes to car insurance. If you're in a bustling city or an area known for higher crime rates, brace yourself for potentially higher premiums.
You're kidding me. So even if I'm a super careful driver, my zip code could still sabotage my rates.
Unfortunately, yes. Insurers analyze the likelihood of accidents, theft, vandalism, all those factors specific to your location. So yeah, that dream apartment in the heart of the city might come with some unexpected insurance cost.
So even choosing where I live is a factor. This is mind-blowing. I feel like there are hidden costs lurking everywhere. Is there anything about ME specifically that determines these premiums?
There is. And it's something you have some control over. It boils down to how much you actually drive. Think about it. Less time on the road logically equals a lower chance of accidents.
Makes sense. So those weekend road trips I've been planning might not be doing me any favors. Is there any way for insurers to actually know how much I'm driving, though?
That's where the world of black boxes and telematics comes in. These devices track your driving habits, speed, braking, mileage, you name it. I know it sounds a bit like Big Brother is watching, right?
Yeah, that does sound a little creepy. But you said it's something I can control. How does that benefit me?
Think of it this way. If you can prove you're a safe and responsible driver through your driving data, you can actually get rewarded with lower premiums. It's like having a little guardian angel on your dashboard vouching for your good driving habits.
All right, I'm liking this guardian angel idea. So less driving, potentially a black box. Anything else I can do to prove I'm a responsible driver?
Well, this article also mentions advanced driving courses. Think of it as going above and beyond your basic driver's ed. Courses like Pass Plus focus on skills like night driving, motorway driving, handling tricky weather conditions.
I see. So it's not just about knowing the rules of the road. It's about mastering those real-world scenarios that can really put your skills to the test.
Exactly. These courses teach you how to be a safer and more confident driver overall. And from an insurance perspective, they demonstrate your commitment to being responsible behind the wheel.
So it's an investment that could pay off in the long run with lower premiums. I wish I had known about this sooner. I'm already feeling a bit more empowered. We've covered a ton of information: inexperience, car choices, family history, location, driving habits, and advanced driving courses. But is there anything I can do right now to get those premiums down without having to wait years for more driving experience?
Absolutely. And this is where we move from understanding the why to exploring the how. There are some practical steps you can take right now to potentially lower your costs. But first, we need to understand one crucial thing.
Ooh, a cliffhanger. I guess we'll have to wait until the next part to find out what this game-changing secret is. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with more insights on how to conquer those car insurance premiums. All right, so we're back, ready to unlock those secrets to saving money on car insurance. Before we went to the next part, we were talking about some actionable steps you can take like right now to lower your costs. What's this game changer you mentioned?
Well, it's less of a secret. And more of a financial fact that often gets overlooked. It's all about how you pay for your insurance.
You mean like paying in full versus those tempting monthly installments?
Exactly. While those monthly payments might seem easier on the wallet in the short term, they often end up costing you more in the long run.
Really? I'm all ears. Explain how that works.
Okay, so think of it like this. Those monthly payment plans often come with hidden costs, like interest charges and administrative fees. They're like these little sneaky fees that add up over time, making your overall insurance cost higher.
So if I can swing it, paying for my entire premium upfront could actually save me some cash. That's a good tip. I'll have to start budgeting for that.
It might seem like a big chunk of change all at once, but if you can plan for it, it can be a smart move financially. And here's another thought. Consider how much you actually need to drive. If you're mostly using public transportation or biking, you might not need to be racking up a ton of miles.
Right, so if I'm not driving as much, I'm logically less of a risk, which should translate into lower premiums, right?
Exactly. Many insurers offer discounts for lower annual mileage. It's definitely worth asking about.
Okay, so less driving, paying upfront, got it. Are there any other tricks of the trade when it comes to car insurance? I'm starting to feel like a detective uncovering hidden clues.
Keep that detective hat on, because our source emphasizes something crucial. Shopping around for insurance quotes. Don't just settle for the first offer that lands in your inbox. Take some time to compare quotes from different insurers. You might be surprised by the range of prices and coverage options out there.
That's good advice. It's like anything else, you want to find the best deal possible, right?
Exactly. And don't be afraid to negotiate. Remember, insurance companies are businesses, and they want your business. So if you've got a clean driving record, or have taken those advanced driving courses we talked about, use that to your advantage. Don't be shy about asking for a better rate.
Ooh, I like that. It's about being proactive and advocating for yourself.
Exactly. Be informed, be assertive, and you might be able to snag a much better deal on your car insurance.
All right, this is all super empowering, so if I'm understanding this correctly,
Yeah.
young drivers might face some initial challenges, but by being savvy and taking these steps, we can actually make a difference in how much we pay. It's not a hopeless situation.
You've got it. It's all about understanding the system and using that knowledge to your advantage. And remember, as you gain experience behind the wheel and build a good driving record, those premiums will naturally start to come down over time.
Okay, that's reassuring. So there is light at the end of the insurance tunnel. This article dives deep into the reasons behind those high premiums, but it also provides these practical tips that I think a lot of young drivers will find really helpful.
I agree. It's a great resource for anyone navigating the sometimes confusing world of car insurance.
Now, while this deep dive has been laser focused on car insurance, something in this source material sparked a thought in my mind. It's this idea that car insurance is just one example of how perceived risk influences costs in our lives.
Well, I like where you're going with this.
It's like this whole concept of risk assessment applies to so many areas of life, not just driving. Think about credit scores. If you're young and haven't had much time to build a credit history, you might be seen as higher risk by lenders, leading to higher interest rates on loans.
That's a perfect example. The same principle applies. Lenders use credit scores to assess the likelihood that you'll repay a loan, and a limited credit history can be interpreted as a lack of responsibility, resulting in higher costs for you.
It's wild how this idea pops up everywhere. It's not even limited to finances. Think about job applications. If you're a recent graduate with little work experience, you might be seen as a riskier hire compared to someone with years of experience.
Absolutely. Employers are essentially assessing the risk of investing in you as an employee. It all boils down to perception and how that perception translates into real-world opportunities.
So this deep dive has become more than just a guide to car insurance. It's about understanding this bigger picture of risk assessment and how it impacts our lives.
It's about recognizing these systems that assess risk and understanding how they influence our choices, opportunities, and yes, even the costs we face.
Which makes it even more important to be aware of these systems, understand how they work, and find ways to demonstrate our trustworthiness and responsibility.
I couldn't agree more.
Okay, before we wrap up, I want to touch on one more thing that really resonated with me from this article. It's something that might just change the way we think about these risk assessments. Stay tuned for the final part. We're back and ready to wrap up our deep dive into this whole world of car insurance. But before we do, I want to circle back to that final thought-provoking point I mentioned. Remember how we were talking about how risk assessment kind of plays a role in so many areas of our lives, not just car insurance? Well, this article really got me thinking about the flip side of that coin.
I'm intrigued. What's the flip side?
Okay, so it's this. If we can actually understand those factors that contribute to these risk assessments, we can actually use that knowledge to our advantage. We can proactively take steps to demonstrate our trustworthiness and responsibility, not just to insurance companies, but in all aspects of life.
I see what you mean. It's like we're not just passively subject to these assessments. We can actually influence them.
Exactly. We can build a reputation for reliability, a track record that shows we're responsible individuals.
So instead of feeling powerless against these systems, we can empower ourselves to navigate them strategically.
Absolutely. Think about it. If we consistently make smart choices, pay our bills on time, build a positive credit history, engage in our communities, all these actions kind of contribute to a perception of trustworthiness.
And that perception can lead to better opportunities, lower costs, and stronger relationships.
It's like a ripple effect. By focusing on building trust and demonstrating responsibility in one area of life, we can actually create a positive impact across the board.
That's a powerful takeaway. It's not just about getting a good deal on car insurance. It's about crafting a life where trustworthiness becomes our calling card.
I love that. So as you navigate the world, remember you have more control than you think. Be mindful of the choices you make, understand the systems at play, and strive to build a reputation that reflects your integrity and responsibility.
Those qualities will serve you well, not just in the short term, but throughout your life.
And on that note, we're signing off. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of car insurance and beyond. Remember, knowledge is power. And now you're armed with the insights to make smart, empowered decisions. Until next time, drive safely and make choices that build trust. Hey everyone! Getting car insurance for the first time as a student can feel a little overwhelming, right? Are you supposed to afford this on top of everything else?
Yeah, definitely. It's tough.
And so many of you have sent in this article from My Insurance Advice UK. It's called How to Find the Best Student Car Insurance Deals for Young Drivers. And
I think it's a really good one.
yeah, it's got a ton of helpful info. So today we're gonna dive in and try to break down the whole car insurance thing, help you guys feel confident that you're getting the best deal possible.
Absolutely.
So the first thing this article talks about is figuring out what kind of coverage you actually need. They mention stuff like liability, collision, comprehensive.
Yeah, and right off the bat, I think that's such a key point, It's not just about getting the cheapest option, but really understanding what's going to protect you best.
Yeah, for sure. I actually remember the first time I got car insurance.
Oh, yeah.
I was so confused by all those terms. What even is liability?
So, think of it this way. Imagine you're trying to leave that super packed student parking lot after class, right? And you accidentally back into somebody's car.
Oh, I've been there.
Oh, we've all been there. So liability coverage is what's going to step in and protect you in that situation. It basically covers damage you might cause to other people or their property.
So it's kind of like the bare minimum to make sure you're legally covered.
Exactly, yeah. Most states actually require you to have at least some level of liability insurance. But the important thing is to really understand what your specific policy covers and what the limits are.
Right. Yeah, that makes sense. So then what about collision and comprehensive? How are those different?
So collision coverage is kind of like your safety net if you're ever in an accident with another car. It helps to cover the costs of repairing or replacing your own vehicle, regardless of who is at fault.
Okay, so that's for if I finally mess up that parallel parking attempt.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh,
or,
cool.
if you hit a patch of black ice in the winter, anything like that.
Got it. And what about comprehensive?
So comprehensive is like the superhero coverage. It protects you from stuff that's not directly related to a collision. So think like theft, vandalism, a tree falls on your car during a storm.
Or hail damage, right?
Exactly. Hail damage, fire, even, if a deer runs out in front of you.
Oh my God.
It's there to protect you from those unexpected events.
Okay, so that makes a lot more sense now. So we've got liability, collision, and comprehensive. But the article also mentions that the actual car you drive plays a big role in how much you pay for insurance.
Oh, yeah, big time. Insurers look at all sorts of things. The value of your car, obviously how safe it is, even how likely it is to get stolen.
So if I'm driving around in a flashy sports car,
probably going to be paying a bit more for insurance.
Makes sense.
Yeah. They're statistically more likely to be involved in accidents or get stolen. So if you're rocking that old reliable sedan, you might actually be in a good spot.
I knew there was a reason I kept this old thing running.
Right. And plus older cars often cost less to repair, which insurers also like. But here's the thing, and this is where it gets kind of tricky. Even little things you do to modify your car.
Wait, really?
Yeah, even if they seem small, it can actually impact your premiums.
Like if I get some like nice new rims or something.
Yep. Those rims could increase the value of your car in the eyes of the insurance company. So they're going to charge you more to insure it. Same goes for fancy sound systems or even a custom paint job.
So it's not just the car, it's like how tricked out it is.
Pretty much. It's all about how insurers assess risk.
Okay, so we've talked about the types of coverage in the car itself. But now the big question. How do we actually find the best insurance deal?
Yeah, that's the million-dollar question. And the article has some really great advice about this. They really stress the importance of shopping around. Don't just jump on the first quote you see, you know.
Like, don't be afraid to shop around.
Yeah.
But there are so many insurance companies. Like, where do you even start?
Well, those online comparison tools can be super helpful. You just put in your information once, and they pull quotes from tons of different companies. It's like having a personal shopper for car insurance.
That sounds so much easier than, like, calling each company individually.
Right. It saves you so much time and hassle. But the article also suggests actually reaching out to insurers directly.
Wait, why is that?
Because sometimes those online quotes are just estimates. And by talking to a real person, you can often get a more accurate quote, maybe even find some discounts that the online tools missed, and they can answer any specific questions you have.
Right, so it's like combining the ease of using those online tools with, like, the personal touch of talking to an actual human.
Exactly. You get the best of both worlds.
Okay, I like it. Now, did you see the part about local insurers and credit unions?
Oh, yeah. Those can be great options. They sometimes have lower operating costs than those big national companies.
So that means...
Lower premiums for you. Potentially. And they might have a better understanding of the specific risks in your area, which could lead to even more savings.
Huh. I never thought to look into those.
Yeah, worth checking out.
Okay, but here's the thing. The article talks about being careful of super low premiums, the ones that sound too good to be true.
Yes.
Like, why is that?
It's so tempting to go for the absolute cheapest option. But imagine this. You get into an accident and suddenly you realize your super cheap insurance has all sorts of limitations and exclusions. You could end up paying way more out of pocket than you saved on those monthly premiums.
Ouch, that's a painful lesson.
Right. It's really all about finding that balance between affordability and making sure you have the right coverage.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. But you know what really caught my eye in this article?
What's that?
The section about discounts.
Ah, yes, the student-specific discounts. They're pretty awesome.
I know, right? There's a whole world of discounts just for us.
Exactly.
Tell me everything.
Okay, so first up, the good student discount. If you're keeping those grades up, hitting the books,
Try my best.
insurers see that as a sign of responsibility, and they often give discounts for it. Basically, they figure if you're responsible enough to get good grades, you're probably responsible enough to be a safe driver too.
Okay, I can get behind that logic.
Right. So make sure you're taking advantage of that if you can.
But wait, there's more, right?
Oh yeah, there's more. Have you heard of bundling?
I think so, but honestly, not really sure what it means.
So let's say you're living with family and they have home insurance. Bundling is when you combine your car insurance with their existing home insurance policy, all under the same provider.
Oh, so it's like a package deal.
Exactly. And insurers often give big discounts for bundling. It simplifies things for everyone and can save you a bunch of money.
Okay, cool. What other discounts are lurking out there?
Well, there are safe driving discounts. Basically, insurers love safe drivers because they're less likely to file claims. So they offer things like discounts for taking a defensive driving course or for maintaining a clean driving record.
I've always wondered about those defensive driving courses.
Oh, they can be great. I actually took one a few years back, and it seriously changed my whole perspective on driving.
Really?
Yeah, it made me much more aware of my habits behind the wheel.
I might have to look into that. And wait, wasn't there something about an app?
Oh, yeah. That's the usage-based insurance program they talk about. It's becoming super popular.
So what's that all about?
Basically, it's an app that tracks your driving habits. It looks at things like your speed, your braking, even what times of day you drive. And if you consistently drive safely, you can earn some pretty sweet discounts on your premiums.
Wait, so if I'm a good driver, this app can actually help me save money?
Yep. It's definitely worth considering, especially if you don't drive a ton or you're confident in your driving skills.
Okay, I'm sold. So we've covered like the types of coverage, how our car impacts rates, and all those amazing discounts.
Hmm.
What else do we need to think about?
Well, one thing the article really stresses is the importance of regularly reviewing your car insurance policy. Because, life changes, your driving habits change, and even the insurance market itself is constantly evolving.
Okay, so it's not just set it and forget it. I got to stay on top of it.
Right. And this is where things can get a little tricky. It can feel like a moving target sometimes. Like, what are some specific situations where you should definitely review your coverage?
Yeah, that's a good question.
Well, let's say you find yourself driving less. Maybe you're taking more online classes.
Yeah.
Or maybe you've landed a sweet internship that's close enough to bike.
Right.
You might actually be eligible for a low mileage discount.
Huh. Less driving, lower insurance costs.
Exactly.
Okay, I like it. But what if, like, the opposite happens? What if I'm driving more? Say I pick up a part-time job, or I've got those late-night study group sessions.
Right.
Like, do I need to adjust things then?
That's another great point, and the article does touch on that too. If your driving habits change in a big way, like you're suddenly commuting a longer distance or you're doing more night driving, which tends to be riskier, it's definitely a good idea to check in with your insurer. Make sure your coverage still fits your needs.
Okay, so like my insurance needs to kind of grow along with all these life changes.
Exactly. And speaking of life changes, what happens when you upgrade your car? Like, let's say you trade in that old clunker for a shiny new hybrid.
Finally.
A new car smell is great, but it does come with some insurance implications.
Oh, of course.
A newer car, especially one with a higher value, might mean you need to bump up your coverage levels.
Right.
But on the plus side, newer cars often come with all those cool safety features, lane departure warnings, automatic emergency braking, and those can often score you some nice discounts.
So it's kind of a trade-off. Higher coverage costs, maybe because the car's worth more, but potentially offset by discounts for those safety features.
Exactly.
Okay, I'll take those odds. But the article also says that even things that seem totally unrelated to driving can impact insurance.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like what?
Well, for starters, moving.
Oh, right.
Even if it's just to a different part of town, different areas come with different risks. Think like crime rates, the number of accidents that happen in a specific neighborhood. Insurers consider all of that when they calculate your premiums.
Wow, so even if I'm driving the same, just moving to a new place could change my rates.
It's definitely possible. And then there are those big life changes like moving in with family or getting roommates.
Yeah.
You might want to think about bundling those policies together like we talked about earlier, or adjusting your coverage based on how you share vehicles.
Makes sense. Because, like, if I'm only driving my car a couple times a week,
right,
I probably don't need the same level of coverage as someone who's on the road every day.
Exactly. It's about making sure everyone's protected without paying for stuff you don't need.
Love it.
And, here's another thing. The insurance market itself is always changing. There are new discounts popping up all the time.
Yeah.
Insurers are always adjusting their policies.
It feels impossible to keep up.
It can be tough.
Yeah.
Plus, regulations change, new technologies emerge, even things like the economy can impact how insurers set their rates.
Oh, wow.
The article really highlights how important it is to stay informed and shop around regularly to make sure you're not missing out on savings or better coverage options.
Okay, so it's not enough to just find a decent policy and then forget about it.
Yo.
Got to be proactive, got to stay on top of it.
Think of it as being a savvy consumer. A little effort can go a long way in saving you money and making sure you have the right protection.
Knowledge is power.
It really is.
Yeah.
Especially with car insurance. But, this article gets into some pretty nitty-gritty stuff about actually understanding your policy.
Oh, yeah. Got to get into the details.
And this is where it gets really important. Because knowing the ins and outs of your policy can make a huge difference in how well you're protected.
Okay, so where do we start? What should we be looking for?
Well, let's talk about coverage limits first. Those basically determine the maximum amount your insurance company will pay out for a covered claim.
Okay.
It's crucial to understand what your limits are and make sure they're actually high enough to protect you, like in a worst-case scenario.
Right.
Now, have you ever heard of deductibles?
Oh, yeah. I hear that word thrown around a lot, but I'm not sure I totally get it.
Okay, so think of a deductible as your share of the cost if you have to file a claim.
Okay.
So let's say your deductible is $500 and you get into an accident that causes $2,000 worth of damage to your car. You'd be responsible for paying that $500 deductible, and your insurance company would cover the rest.
Okay, so higher deductible means I pay more upfront if something happens, but it also usually means my monthly premiums are lower.
Exactly. It's a trade-off, right?
Yeah.
Choosing the right deductible is all about finding that balance between what you're comfortable paying out of pocket and how much you want to save each month.
Got it. Got it. What else should we be on the lookout for in our policies?
You know how they always say to read the fine print?
Oh, yeah.
That definitely applies to car insurance policies.
Okay.
Pay close attention to the policy exclusions. Those are basically the things that are not covered by your insurance.
So, like, what kind of things?
For instance, some policies might exclude coverage for certain types of modifications to your car, or maybe there are limitations on coverage for ride sharing if you decide to drive for like a ride-hailing app. It's super important to know exactly what you're signing up for.
Yeah, no surprises.
Right.
Wow, this has been a seriously informative deep dive.
It has.
We've covered the basics of coverage types, shopping for quotes, and even gotten into the nitty-gritty of deductibles and exclusions.
And along the way, we've uncovered some really valuable strategies. You know, understanding your needs, shopping around, snagging those student discounts, staying on top of your policy as your life changes.
Finding the best student car insurance deal isn't about luck. It's about being informed and taking charge.
Absolutely.
But before we wrap things up, you know, this article ends with a really thought-provoking question, and I think it's something every student listening should ask themselves. They ask, what's one step you can take today to start saving on car insurance? It's a good question, right? Like, what's that one small action you can take right now to get started?
I think it could be something as simple as just digging out your current policy and taking a few minutes to really look it over. You know, do you understand all the terms and conditions? Are you actually getting all the discounts you're eligible for?
Yeah, that's a great first step. Or, like, maybe you're feeling super motivated and you're ready to jump on those comparison websites we talked about, see what's out there, get a sense of the different options and prices.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Or maybe even challenge yourself to call up your current insurer and ask about those student-specific discounts. You never know. You might be surprised at what they offer.
Yeah, it never hurts to ask. The important thing is to take that first step. Don't let car insurance feel like this big, scary, confusing thing. You got this.
Absolutely. You've got this. And hey, if you come across any other awesome car insurance tips or tricks along the way, let us know. We'd love to hear from our listeners.
Yeah, for sure. We're all in this together. All right, that's it for our deep dive on student car insurance.
Until next time.
Drive safe out there.
And may your premiums be ever in your favor.